While last year our focus was on making our population survive the pandemic, this year the focus would be to make the billions of people thrive. As governments, citizens, NGOs, private sector companies, and international development agencies put up a brave front fighting the immediate effects of this pandemic, there's also a clear need to think about how this pandemic impacts the weaker sections of the society and act upon it. The pandemic has accentuated the income inequalities among the rich and poor. The costs of the pandemic are being borne largely by poorer sections of the society, with them being exposed to the health risks, job losses, and declines in well being. The government has done several things to meet this. A whole range of initiatives have been taken under the Atmanirbhar program to take care of those below the poverty line and those who belong to the poorer section of the society. Ladies and gentlemen, however, it's important to say that Indian billionaires reported a rise in their combined net worth by more than a third during the first 4 months of the coronavirus induced national lockdown. We saw global tech companies achieving trillion-dollar market capitalization last year. At the same time, global extreme poverty also will rise for the first time in 20 years because of the pandemic. COVID-19 would push back a lot of people back into poverty. And therefore, beyond the corporate CSRs and institutional foundations, family philanthropists play a pivotal role in the building of modern India in terms of bringing in ideas, innovations, and institutions. Family philanthropists have always played a critical role in building India into the nation it is today. Back in 1892, Jamshedji Tata launched the country's first known endowment, the J.N. Tata Endowment Scheme for Higher Education. During the independence movement, several industrial families extended their financial support to leaders of the freedom struggle. All the foremost industrialists of the time made significant financial contributions towards the removal of untouchability, popularization of khadi and village industries, promotion of basic education and religious unity. More recently, the COVID-19 pandemic has seen families in India respond with an unprecedented level of generosity, speed and agility to support their neighbors, uplift disadvantaged communities, and help non-profits to sustain their work. A whole range of examples are there. For example, Give India received donations of over 220 crores from individual philanthropists and foundations towards the India COVID Response Fund, which has supported more than 56 lakh people during the pandemic. Additionally, at least 9 billion from the country donated close to Indian rupee 4,000 crores for COVID-19 related causes in the form of financial donations, manufactured goods and equipment, or other commitments, the most in the world after US and China. India's philanthropy and voluntary sector, noted for its vibrancy, innovation, and advocacy, is an important nation-building partner for the government. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the social impact of NGOs has become even more visibly vital, not just in providing relief, food, clothing, and shelter to those impacted by the coronavirus and lockdown, but also in creating a sustainable ecosystem for long-term rehabilitation of vulnerable communities. Entrepreneurs and private citizens are also playing a huge role in building an equitable, inclusive, and sustainable society. Today, we have entrepreneurs who do not merely want to earn money, they also want to make an impact in the lives of the people in the world. Social entrepreneurs have proven that sustainable and inclusive business models for philanthropic causes can not only be developed but also scaled up rapidly. The CSR landscape in India has seen constant evolution. Today, Indian businesses have incorporated CSR as a part of their business model and sustainable business strategies. I am very proud that Indian businesses through CSR have done significant work to assist the country's battle against COVID-19. Several leading companies have been at the forefront of CSR contributions in this cause. We had a number of districts where the regional disparities were high, and some of these districts had socioeconomic indicators which are extremely skewed. We identified 112 districts across 28 states in India which had the poorest performance across various socio-economic indicators, and took up the ambitious task of improving their performance, ranking across all these parameters. Our aim here was to employ a unique model, the model of convergence, competition, and collaboration, to improve health, education, and other socio-economic outcomes. We were able to collaborate with the private sector and NGOs, bring convergence between various levels of government, and also foster competition. The aspirational districts today are ranked on a number of indicators, and this information is available to all. This encourages the districts faring poorly to strive to improve their performance. Today, these rankings are being replicated by a number of states. Our collaboration with organizations in the Aspirational District Program is an excellent example of how collaboration with private sector funding agencies and institutional foundations can improve outcomes. For instance, we partnered with Piramal Foundation to improve health and nutrition and education indicators through capacity building, community engagement, through a Jan Andolan strengthening of public health facilities for providing quality healthcare services. Ladies and gentlemen, the government has taken numerous initiatives towards holistic and inclusive development and growth of the country. I strongly believe that the growth has to be for all and it has to be driven by all. Our growth must necessarily ensure that we also work on improving health outcomes and learning outcomes. Another key pillar to driving an inclusive and sustainable growth is technology. Look at the disruption that has taken place in the Indian technology sector. In the last 5 years, we are the only country in the world with over a billion plus biometrics, a billion plus mobiles, and only almost a billion bank accounts, what we term as the Jam Trinity. We have over 650 million internet users, and we add an internet user every 3 seconds. We are the largest consumer of data in the world, and our data costs are the lowest. In the Aspirational District Program, which I've just mentioned, we have partnered with a range of private sector in a bid to enhance the user experience, strengthen data processing, and modernize vital IT infrastructure for better implementation of the program. The vast scale of data and the massive digital footprint is India's biggest strength for the technological leapfrogging. As India moves from being data rich to data intelligent, it will use machine learning and AI to find solutions to a vast number of its challenges: water availability, learning outcomes, health improvement, and enhanced agriculture productivity. Our country's development challenges are too large and complex for only the government to be tackling it. And hence the role of private philanthropists, not to just give but also create a sustainable ecosystem for long-term rehabilitation of vulnerable communities. As that will lead to accelerate India's development and enable over a billion Indians to thrive with dignity and equity. Philanthropists, foundation, non-profit leaders, government, citizens, social entrepreneurs, private sector and funding organizations must all come together to collaborate to solve India's challenges. If India is able to innovate for its challenges of water, health, education and agriculture, we'll be finding solutions not for our 1.3 billion people of India, but for the next 5 billion people of the world who will move from poverty to middle class in the coming decade. Philanthropy has a significant role to play in accelerating the shift towards India's most vulnerable and investing in solutions that can address these challenges through an integrated, collaborative, and systems approach. I once again congratulate Dasra for working towards unlocking the potential of our 1.3 billion citizens and accelerating the country towards truly equitable, transformative, and resilient development over the next decade.